The champ is back to take on Bryant Jennings, undefeated in Madison Square Garden. Eagerly anticipating this fight. Of course, with the whole Mayweather Pacquaio, we've just done a bunch of clips on it, and the whole world is still talking about this. We need to realise there's still some great fights going on, especially in the UFC and, of course, in the heavyweight boxing division. And we're going to talk about Klitschko. 39 years of age, still boxing, still considered to be, along with his brother, two boxing masterminds who are still to be tested to that certain limit. Now, this comes up against a fight with Bryant Jennings, who's undefeated. I'm excited about this fight. What do you guys think?
Yeah, I think it's going to be a great fight. I think Klitschko's best punches are his jab cross. You know, that long combo, he uses his height, uses his power, and when he lands that cross, he does some serious damage. Yeah. Jennings is a great fighter. Up and coming, he's great. He's great at timing the uppercut, too. Yeah. And Klitschko likes to throw his 1-2 combo, and if he sees punches coming back, he's got that old school way of blocking where he lifts his arm up and clinches. But if Jennings can land that uppercut before the clinch, I think he could take this fight.
Yeah. So, Britain, at 39, we're going to talk about Wladimir. Like, people are still talking about how him and Vitaly, who's 3 years older than him, how these guys can consistently be at the focus point in heavyweight boxing. And we've got someone like Jennings coming in. What can he do to perhaps finally try and remove one of these transformers who have just been at the prime of boxing and heavyweight division? What can he do to beat Wladimir Klitschko?
He has to be a pit bull. Yeah. He has to be a Philly fighter. He has to do exactly the things that got him to the table. Yeah. He's very athletic. He's relatively fast for his size, and he throws with good combination and good power, and that's what he has to do. Yeah. Klitschko is phenomenal at doing what he does best, and that's at fighting at long range and tying up when someone gets close to him. If Jennings can find a way to get past that 1-2 real quick and land quality punches on the inside, circle out, I think that it can be not an easy night. You'll never have an easy night against a Klitschko. They're just too big. They're too strong. But I think that we can see an upset, like you said, if he does what he does best, and that's be a bull. Yeah. He has to keep coming forward. He has to use consistent head movement and land good quality punches and get out of punching range.
Well, out of his 19 victories, 10 of them have been knockouts, right? But, I mean, I'm a betting man. I like to get involved in bet. I wouldn't be betting on a knockout here, especially against Wladimir Klitschko. But he is an aggressive fighter, and it's funny enough because you were just mentioning it from Philly. Klitschko actually called him a Rocky Balboa fighter, so he's after my heart straight away. Because you know any mention of Rocky Balboa, then I'm intrigued. Yeah. But it's going to be an interesting fight because people often call the Klitschko brothers, both of them partnered together, boring fighters, and they're responsible for taking the heavyweight division to where it is at the moment. Again, I don't know. I have a different opinion. When I watched the Klitschko brothers in the whole Chisora situation that was going on, I was so intrigued in boxing. It was like a movie to me. And Chisora was part of that. And so was David Haye. And those guys were consistently back and forth at each other's throats. And I was watching it as much. Maybe it's because it backs up the point that we have. We don't seem to have a villain in the heavyweight division as much anymore. We don't have someone to maybe push the buttons of the Klitschko brothers as we had maybe 2 or 3 years ago. But if there is to be a win here for Jennings, is that the end of Wladimir Klitschko, do you think?
He's had a long reign.
Yeah.
And I think it's, he's 39 years old.
Yeah, 39.
And I think, if he loses this fight, that could be it. I mean, why not? He's made a great mark in heavyweight division in boxing. I think if he retires after that, he'd be good. I think even if he won and retired, it'd be a smart move.
Yeah.
Well, I see him, wanting to show down, in a mega fight, one more big fight, before you retire. You never really want to retire off of a loss. Yeah. But if he loses this fight, I think that he'll try and, get his title back. Yeah. And rightfully so. He's deserved that. He's given the sport so much that he at least deserves the opportunity to get his title back. And we're talking about this fight as if he doesn't have a chance to win. Yeah. But I just feel like whenever I feel like what he does to people is he imposes his size and his power on them, and then they quit. Yeah. And then it's only a matter of time before they get knocked out. If he gets in the ring and Jennings doesn't quit, he keeps coming at him, he remains a dog, and he hits him with some big shots, you may see Vitaly quit. Because we've seen him in the past, when someone is just in his chest and hitting him with big shots, he doesn't like the way that feels. Yeah.
And for me, watching especially Wladimir Klitschko, it seems like he dictates the fight to his pace. Yeah. And if you don't if you seem to run out of gas very early at that pace, then you're not going to win the fight, and you might be able to stay up, you might not get knocked down, but you always put your money on the Klitschko brothers, especially Wladimir, to go the distance and win it on a points unanimous decision, and that's what I think will happen in this situation, as it has happened for 63 fights, 54 knockouts. I mean, the guy is pretty phenomenal. But finally, predictions ahead of it, Madison Square Garden. What do you think? Can Jennings win it?
I'm gonna root for the underdog. I'm gonna bet on the underdog, and I'm actually gonna say knockout too.
Wow.
I know. Yeah, I'm actually gonna. I don't know, 8th, 9th
You got
round?
any inside info in the camp or something like that?
No, I don't know. I have a feeling. I have a gut feeling. I'm gonna go with it.
Britain?
You know what? When the fight was first announced, I thought Jennings had no chance of winning this fight.
Yeah.
Based on everything that Klitschko has done in the past for the past couple of fighters. But I like this guy, and I have to agree with him. I think that Jennings is going to bring a certain demeanor that he hasn't seen before.
Yeah.
Even though he has inexperience, that can be good for you. It can be good for you if you've never been hurt before and you just think that boxing is a mental sport.
Yep.
So if you think that you can't be beat, possibly you just can't be beat.
Yeah.
So I think that he's going to come in. I think that he's going to be a Philly fighter, and I think he's going to show some attitude and impose himself on Klitschko the way that he's been doing to other people. And I think that we might see him wilt a little bit.
Yeah, and I'll agree with you guys both on that. I think that he's probably one of the most dangerous fighters to be fighting Wladimir Klitschko at this point. But I'm just going to be boring, guys. Just going to be boring, and I'm going to go for a Klitschko points decision. I think I fancy him winning it. So we want to know what you guys think, because if your predictions are right, we'll make sure to give you guys the credit next week when we talk about it. Leave your comments in the section below. Subscribe to TYT Sports on Twitter. Check out Fight Tips on YouTube. Check out Britton Hardin on Twitter. And check out Britton Hardin on 120 Sports as well. And come back for more boxing talk, guys, and MMA coming up soon.